Hi, Job. Just thinking of is everything working right now, guys? I just wanted to make sure everything is working. If so, let me know. If not, you cannot say that, of course. So yeah, today we're going to do something special. We're doing the feedback stream, of course, together with Tech House Market. My name is Tim Hawks, if you don't know me. If you do know me, hello, nice to see you again. I've been doing this for a long time, of course. Okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know, Charles. Okay, I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm really happy that I can do this again. Maybe I will do this on my own channel as well, but still, if you don't know who I am, Tim Hawks, let's get people in there before we get started, you know. I think that's also a good thing. Is everybody doing great, by the way? Because that's the main thing, of course, that we want to know, you know. If everybody is okay. I do think so. Let me get this over here. I need to get used to everything, to be completely honest. But no, Peter, you can send everything that you want, but know that you can send it into the how do you say it? Into the Discord chat. I'm opening everything slowly. I see this one's also in there as well. There's lots of there are lots of submissions, so let's get into it. And I think, let me know if you hear this. I think so. We start with the first one. It's from Mattfire.
To hit the floor. Overload.
Okay.
Hit the floor. Hit the floor.
I do like this. Okay, not so much this part over here. I do think it's really big already. And I do think that the kick and the bass line are a little bit colliding with each other. I feel that the kick is a little bit too quiet if you compare it with the bass line. I think if you turn down the bass line a little bit, because it's really like louder than that. And for anyone who's knowing, I just want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to get some feedback from me, of course. So I'm trying to skip sometimes through the track, so everybody has a proper chance. I try to have like a break and a drop, and then maybe a different, but depends on how long it is, of course. I do like this part. I think if you already give away the bass line again, the energy will not get into that drop. Okay, I like this. I don't like it when it goes up. I would rather go down, to be honest. And that fill is a little bit out of place. I think if you use another fill, it would sound a little bit more into that track. Okay, Okay, it's a pretty nice track. I think what the main things you should focus on are the bass line and kick. Try to make sure that it sounds a little bit more in balance. Right now it's a lot of bass and not so much a lot of kick. I think if you make them talk a little bit more, it will be better. And as well, I think over here, that part over here with the synth going an octave higher, I would rather go an octave lower, but because it's really eerie in the, there are really some eerie frequencies, so that's why I would say do that. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one is from Fluid 6. I'm just making sure that I did I already open this. No, this one isn't open yet. No worries, Monta. Let me skip to the first break because it's a really long track.
Don't stop it, let me see you drop and pop it. Don't stop it, don't stop it, don't stop it.
Pero me gusta como toca como.
Okay, first things first. I think that synth switch is really cool. That sort of fill. I do think it comes out of nowhere. It feels a little bit off beat, I think, and I think it's good, but it's good to be unique, but it sort of feels a little bit out of place.
Don't stop it, let me see you drop and pop it.
I do think that vocal could be a little bit more in your face. Right now it's really wide, so it sort of feels off. It sounds a little bit out of phase, to be really honest.
Just do it.
Thanks, Charles, for the compliment about the plans. I'm happy with those plans. One is fake and the other is real, by the way.
Hit the floor, lose your man, show me more.
To be honest, I do like it. I do think the mixdown is great. But there is one thing that I don't really like, is that there's not that much, how do you say it? There's not so much variation in that bass line. And the other thing is that there's a lot of things going on, and that's cool, but
We don't talk about it.
I have the feeling to skip it, you know, and that's not really a great thing to have that, you know. Like the thing is that if your track has the feeling that I would skip something, I would really recommend to go to make some variations here and there. Add some FXs. Make sure that maybe there's a double kick. Make sure that there's something else, you know. Hi, Joan. Oh yeah, of course. Submit your track in the Discord. I think that you really need to focus on that with a lot of variation, because tech house could be sometimes really boring if there's no much variation. So that's why. Okay, let's go to the next track. I try to, as what I'm saying, I try to give everybody a fair chance to give you guys feedback on the break and the drop. So if you say, hey, this is my track, I would like to have feedback on this drop or something like that, just let me know in the comments, of course. Now, Job, we are at your track. I already saw you were in the chat.
Burning your heat. Tell me, should we take the risk? Never felt a love like this. No, this ain't no game. You feel the same. I think I can read your mind. Inhibitions all behind. You got me hypnotized, got me falling deeper every time.
Okay, I do like what you're going for. I do think I have some points.
You make my heart go ma.
I think the idea is there, you know, but it feels, and this is gonna be sounding real strange from everybody who's making EDM, it sounds really EDM-ish. And what I mean by that is that the samples you use sounds like a sort of, I want to say, like a Vengeance pack from back in the day.
Can I make your mama?
Especially that, like, the thing is, if you want to create, I guess you want to create like that Max Styler set, like that Max Styler idea. But the reason why that works most of the time is because it feels really analogish. And right now, it just feels a little bit too Vengeance, too EDM-ish. And I think what you should search for are really, and that sounds strange, those are really disco samples, like the gated snare, like the hi-hats that they have as well. I do like the vocal, to be honest. But I would rather say that if in this part over here, I think there's too much. And it feels really chaotic. Even though if you make sure to choose, so rather choose for the vocal or the synth, then that you choose the synth will come into the second part of the drop, you know. You want to have some, the nice thing about these kind of tracks are the simplicity. And right now you want to put a lot of things in there, but I rather think that if you have some elements that are great, then you don't need so many things that are okay, you know? I think you need to focus on that.
How can I make your mama?
And then I would say go into this part without the vocal, if that makes sense. I will check the second drop as well. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same what I will tell about that over here as well. I think it's really important to make sure that these elements fit together, that you know what it means, you know. Okay, Yup, good luck with your track, by the way. Let's go to the next track, Jupipo.
Nada más.
El sonido atraviesa el cuerpo, haciéndome olvidar todo, menos la manera en que tus ojos brillan bajo las luces y el beat marca el pulso de nuestro...
Is there something you want to know? Please check the build-up to the second drop. I was having issues with the reverb.
Deseo. La piel se eriza con cada nota.
Second drop, yeah.
Solo existimos tú, yo y la canción. Nada más.
I do like that vocal.
Nada más. Nada más.
I wouldn't even do the beat already. I would just do the vocal with that build-up. Like the...
Nada más.
Hi, Armensky.
Nada más.
Thank you.
Nada más. Nada más.
The thing is, what I really miss is that I would, like the thing is with adding that beat already in the build-up, it makes it sound, there is not something special coming or something like that. It doesn't really, I don't like, it is mostly taste what I think, but it's mostly that I don't really like that kind of stuff. And it's mostly because then it sort of gives away already what you want, you know? And I would just add a lot of more atmospheric effects, maybe some other synths in there as well.
Mírame, acércate, ven y bailame, bailame, bebé.
I don't mind the reverb, to be honest, but I do mind it in the drum.
Esta noche, tú y yo, nada más.
Nada más.
I do think when you do that stuff, with this kind of music. Reverb, don't use that much reverb. It's in the break it's okay, but I don't like it when it's in a drop. You want it to be dry. You want to be hard hitting.
Nada más. Mírame.
And I think, especially on that vocal and on that synth, I think if you make the reverb a little bit shorter, or even just that it's in a different room, then it's already better.
Acércate.
Just do the decay a little bit shorter.
Nada más.
Nada más.
Yeah, I do think, and most of the thing is that why it doesn't work for me is that the beat is already coming into the break. I would rather say, okay, add a little bit more risers to fill everything up with atmospherics of access as well, to fill it up like that, instead of just adding the beat already in there. So the drop don't work because you give away a little bit too much, you know. So that's my 2 cents. Oh, Mattfire, we already did you. Sorry, but there's only one track per person. Sorf. Hi, Refy. How are you doing? Okay, we'll skip to the first.
Going for the drill, flexing dollar bill. My money's on the grill.
To be honest, I don't like this vocal.
Living life so chill. Stay low, what I do wrong. Never show where I go young. Let it go, you be alone. Let it resolve what I know.
I think why it doesn't really work, the break, is that there's a lot of reverb. Sometimes that's good, but there is too much reverb on the things that are sort of thin.
Going for the drill, flexing dollar bill. My money's on the grill.
There needs to be a little bit low end in there as well, like a little reverb.
Living life so chill. Stay low, what I do wrong. Never show where I go young.
And because there's so much reverb, it feels really chaotic. Curtin, I think everybody's fine. How are you doing?
Let it go, you be alone. Let it resolve what I know.
Bro, this is the thing. I really like how everything sounds with this. It's just that there's so much reverb.
Going for the drill.
And I think what would really help you out is to use distortion a little bit more. And the reason why you use distortion is that you create a little bit more frequencies in that spectrum. Right now it's just, it feels so sweet, so soft, and you want it to be hard hitting in your face. Like this part. That's cool, but it needs like that grittiness. You need to put that saturation all the way up, or distortion, doesn't really matter. Depends on what you like most of the time, but sometimes I use saturation. I think that soft saturation is really nice. The soft saturation knob, that's a good one. I'm doing fine, Refy. I'm doing fine.
Flexing dollar bill.
Yeah, the thing is, it is cool, but it's just that little thing. It also keeps a little bit of the how do you say it? It keeps a little bit of the variation I know it's just a lot of things going on, but if you repeat that thing, it gets really repetitive after a while. So that's what I will work on as well.
Going for the trip. My money's on the grill. Living life so chill.
Okay, so that being said, let's go to the next track. I hope you learn something. I hope you have something with this feedback, of course. Could do something with that. I don't know from which track it is, of course. I don't know for sure, but still. Well, Sperry, you need to submit into the Discord chat. I don't know for sure if you already did that. For anybody who's wanting to submit a track, go to our Discord. It's in the link in the description, I think. And I will check the track out. It's one per person, by the way. So you know. And we're going to skip to this break.
I got weed, I just coke. Yeah, a nigga love to smoke. Put my glasses, let go. I'ma have to let it blow. I got weed, I just told. Yeah, a nigga love to smoke.
I think this is cool. I think it sounds cool. But there's always a but with me. There's a lot of things going on. And I like that you're going for a different groove, but that groove is a little bit off. Yeah, Ramon, we're going to try to do everything for everybody, but that's why I need to do just a break and a drop of chord. Yeah, and that's what I mean. There's like, I do like what you're going for because it sounds different, but because it sounds so different, the groove isn't doing it what it should do, and it feels off a little bit from to be completely honest, of course. Especially that bass and kick are really great, but everything else is just going from left, right, up, down. There's no really one clear vision, I feel, or vision, not a vision, clear thing that you're going for to keep that groove. And I think you need to see, okay, maybe it's a little bit too much off the grid. And sometimes that could happen, but it's really easy to put it back on the grid, of course. And I do think this break, there could be a little bit more in there, like a violin drone. Or maybe some atmospheric effects.
I just coke, yeah, a nigga love to smoke. Put my glasses, yeah, a nigga love to smoke.
And especially if you can see, there's really the break is like really soft compared to the drop, so you really need to think about that. That being said, there is something to it. Charles, of course, just let me know if I get to your track. Just let me know. Okay, I want this part, because to keep everybody happy, I try to get everybody their feedback. As you can see, there's a lot of submissions. Okay, Nooms. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Nooms. Let's get the track. I can already hear the track is it's compressed a lot.
909K gets increasingly higher. Burning inhibitions at the limit.
It looks like a sausage and it sounds like a sausage. And sometimes I like that, but most of the time it's a little bit too much.
With desire, the baseline ripping through the speakers like fire. In a labyrinth of circuits and wires. 909K gets increasingly higher.
I do like that synth. It sounds strange. I like that, but I do feel there needs to be a little bit underneath that and atmospheric effects, and I do think the vocal has a lot of distortion.
Burning inhibitions at the limits of desire.
Yeah, exactly what Wax is saying. I don't understand what the vocals are saying, so maybe turn the distortion a little bit down.
Baseline ripping through the speakers like fire, fire, fire.
Interesting.
Fire, 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 fire,
Okay, there's a lot of things going on. By the way, Refy, thanks for the compliment, of course. There's a lot of things going on. I feel I didn't expect this drop. And I feel like it would be better if it was a rolling bass, because there's so much things happening in that break that it feels like a sort of techno track. But when it drops, especially over here, I get what you're trying to do. It's like an odd mob sort of kind of sound, But the reason that odd mop sound works most of the time is that it's mostly white, and there's not a lot of low end in there. And right now it's colliding with that kick and bass. It's not having its place in the mix. So therefore it feels a little bit off. And what could work is to put it maybe in a room, like just use a lot of reverb and make it super short. Maybe make it only like around, maybe say 35% wetness. So you have that bass and then distort it. And of course cut off the low end, because that's the reason why it doesn't really come through. And I do think that snare, it doesn't feel right to me. I would change that snare. You're looking for the right snare, but it's not the right sound right now. And I think that bass line and kick, that kick sounds really, really fat and dirty, but that bass line is really sweet. It sounds really sweet. It's a little bit too much on the side. So I would recommend to put it a little bit more in the middle and maybe layer it with, maybe that top bass line could work, but maybe layer it with a sub so you have a little bit more control over there. Yeah, and especially when everything comes together, it sounds really chaotic. So I always say less is more, to be honest. So let's go to works. Do you want me the first break or the second one? Just let me know, of course. And I will check everybody's chat. Everybody's talking a lot. So let me... Okay, not really a question to me, so that's okay. I think that vocal is a little bit too low. I can really hear it. I cannot really understand it, so that's also a thing, to be honest.
Everybody to the dance floor.
This is exactly what I mean when why this works and the other one didn't really work, is because it's a little bit on the side. There's no low end. Sounds fucking awful, man. I don't got any comments about that drop, and I know I'm skipping, and I know I'm pausing the whole time, but I love that. Let me get that back.
Everybody to the dance floor.
That's great. I don't have anything to say about this. I only don't like that vocal on the drop or in the break. I do like that everybody to the dance floor vocal. Could be a little bit louder. Or that just taste? No, it's not taste. It's just it needs to be louder. But that vocal isn't great, in my opinion. That everybody to the dance floor is great, by the way. That is a great. Love the variation. I didn't know, why didn't I follow you, by the way? You've been sending me tracks for as long as I can remember. Yeah, great track. Great track. Just change that vocal on the break, by the way. It's awful, but everything else is great. Bumpy Jones, right now you are up. Okay, that's off. Okay, let's get to the first drop. I thought this was already the break. Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe I need to listen to it, how it evolves, because I'm really curious. I do think the mixdown could be a little bit better, but that's the only thing I gotta say about this. Like the bass line is just a little bit too distorted and it feels a little bit off, but it sort of works. Yeah, especially when a kick comes in, it doesn't feel right. I think you really need to make sure to sidechain it a little bit more. Make sure that it talks with each other, you know? That groove is great, by the way. I don't like that sort of, if you know what I mean. It's on the groove. It's sort of a scratch sound in the back. It's too much. It feels off. You know, it feels a little bit too chaotic in my opinion. Okay, yeah. To be honest, I need to listen to the full track to get the whole picture, but we don't have time for that, to be honest. So I would say change that scratch, because I think, and of course make a little bit some progression on the mix down, because that kick and bass are not really talking with each other. It's really gritty right now, muddy, but you can easily fix that. Yeah, exactly what Ramon is saying. Okay, next one is Dane Jorgensen, I think. Okay. And to be honest, I've been really into this kind of music lately. Sort of the solid groove kind of style.
You just have a special way of playing.
And I already gotta say one thing. I think the Jarice still, Rosa, you can still send in a track.
He liked the way he played them, that's all.
I think that groove, and that's what I wanted to say. I think that groove is cool, don't get me wrong, but I think it's a little bit too much off the grid.
But it still changes. They don't even,
it's like
some of the classical pianists don't even know
like
the changes to
like,
the
you know,
song they playing. You know, that's pretty bad.
It's not the exact thing
They
that you
just playing
want.
a song and they don't even know that it went from the major to the
Let me
relative
get
minor.
that so I can
or the
stand a little bit
minor
more
back
if
to
I
the
want
major.
to.
They don't even know that stuff. That's really disrespectful. The reason to be learning classical pieces would be to be learning the same thing, improvisation.
You mean, and you know what I mean, right? It sort of walks around it, you know, and that's not exactly what you want. You want it to groove, and right now it's just a little bit off the grid, you know. And I do think that bass line and that kick isn't doing its thing. It's not doing its thing. It needs to be talking with each other. I get that you want that muddy feeling, that analogish feeling. But right now, it's just really mud over there. And it's getting dirty. And you want a little bit to clean it up, but not too much. There's a fine line between this. I do like that sound, what's coming in. Okay. That being said, I think there is a lot of potential in this track, but it's just getting the right groove. And especially with this kind of tracks, You really need to make sure that everything sounds good because it's less is more with this. I really do think that. And I've been into this sound lately because I like to play it most of the time, especially when I'm playing longer set. But then it needs to be on point. I'm just gonna check if, oh, I didn't open one. Okay. Yeah, okay, I opened this one, okay. That's what I'm going to say to you, Dane. I hope you listen to me. And if not, of course, you don't have to listen to me. But still. Okay, Blacksmith.
Wait. What? Wait.
This is so, I like this. This is so strange. I do think there's a lot too much reverb. And there's too much going on. I want everything only to be that vocal. Maybe a snare middle, but that's about it.
What? Wait. What?
You had me, but now you lost me a little bit. To be honest.
Wait. What?
I think there's too much. There is just too much. And it's sick, it's nice, it's cool what you're going for. But I think it's could be a little bit less.
Wait.
Tone it down a little.
Wait. What?
Yeah, there's so much right now, especially over here.
What? Wait.
And you had such a nice sort of premise already. I think this part is the best part of the track, and most of the time you want the drop to be the best part, but now it's just a break. This is so cool. So I don't get why you.
Wait. What? Wait.
Yeah, it's the groove is there, but I would lose those synths and just choose. Okay, do I need that many synths? Just think about that. It's especially the second part of the drop because there's so much in there. If you just make sure to adjust those kind of things, I would play this, but it's just right now it's too much. It's for me, to be honest. But you're on the right way, I think, Blacksmith. Okay, or I don't know how to pronounce your name. I think it's Blacksmith. Mancan. And we go to listen to your track. Yeah, okay, I already opened it.
In this house of ecstasy, the music sets us so all free.
It sounds like a sausage. There is no dynamics anywhere. I do think, to be honest, that the track, the idea, the concept is there. The only thing is you really need to consider your master because this is not it for me. And it's mostly because I want dynamics in a track. Right now it's just one flat whole thing and you can really hear it. It's over compressed right now. Need to check the pinned comment. I get what you're going for, and it sounds like the sound is good, I feel like, but there are some things that doesn't work, and because the low end isn't doing it right now because it's so compressed that there is no room anymore. Especially that kick. That kick doesn't have any transient. And you want it to be like tuka 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 tuka. Right now it's doom doom, you know? It's not doing it, you know, for me. It's just listen to your master again. Maybe find somebody else who could master your track, because I feel it would benefit a lot of this. Okay, let's go to the next track. It's from Honing, I think. Honing. Okay, this is nice. We start with the break already. Nice.
Red lights flicker in a twilight zone. Amsterdam nights, bodies in motion.
Exactly what I'm saying, Prod LS.
Dreams in a velvet
Prod LS.
power in the beat, pressure in the vein.
Okay.
Power in the beat, pressure in the vein.
Vocal could be louder.
Feel it take over, hijack brain. Feel it, feel it, feel it take over.
Andrew, I would really reconsider it. Yeah, it's not that, it wasn't that great of a master, but I do like the idea of the track, of course. I do like this track as well.
Feel it take over, lights low,
It does have something.
mind blown. Red lights flicker in a twilight zone.
I do think the bass line is a little bit too loud compared with kick.
Hijack brain. Feel it take over. Hijack.
Just gonna check it one more time.
Feel it, feel it, feel it take over.
And this is what I mean, it's really simple. It's just, I like simple stuff. It's just that. It's less is more. And I feel like the variations are as little as possible, but it works for some reason. But what I was saying, the bass line is a little bit too loud. Just a little. And I'm gonna, for anybody who's struggling with finding the levels of what your bassline should sound and your kick, use this one, Sub Ninja. This one. I'm just gonna show you real quick. This one is really insane. I love this one. It's insane. I would recommend it to anyone. I use this all the time. So I know, okay, it needs to sound like that. Okay, Honing, or Hanning, or whatever your name is. Send it to me when it's done, because I do think it's a great track, and I would play this. Okay, now we have Ramon Anthony.
Be free.
Okay. I do like how that bassline sounds. I do think the top could be maybe a different guitar plug, but that's mostly taste. It works. It does work. Oh yeah, okay. I get that you don't like the vocal. I get that. It could be a little bit better. But anything else, it sounds really great. It does work. It sounds really funky. It sounds what you're going for. It does. I like this. But I do think, and I really agree with Blacksmith, I do think that top bass line could be changed because it does sound like Seinfeld. It's just the top bass line could be maybe another sound. I would recommend to do that because right now it feels a little bit. That's the only thing that sounds a little bit cheap or so. You know what I mean? Yeah, Charles, I have this long cable so I can dance whenever I want to. For you guys. So you can see my dances when I do stuff like that. Okay, let's get to Shadow. Yeah, Shadow. Good to know, Ramon. Great track, really great. If it's finished, send it to me. If it's finished, I just want to say this. If it's finished, send it to me.
Nothing can stop us now. I'm gonna show you how. Nothing can stop us now. I'm gonna show you how. Nothing can stop us now. I'm gonna show you how. Nothing can stop us now. I'm gonna show you how. 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 I'm gonna.
I do think, and this is just what I'm gonna say.
I'm gone.
There's a lot of things in there, and it doesn't really feel nice to me.
I'm gonna show you how.
I think the thing is, and this is what I can really hear. I get that you're trying to do something different, and it doesn't sound that bad, but it's just a little bit too much. I feel there's a lot of things going on. Like there's a lot of low end, and the kick and the synth and the bass are trying to get in the way of every part of that track. Every part of the mix, they want to have that own part, and it's not letting anyone else in. So they're trying to get, how can I explain it really simple? They're trying to get into the same door with three people. That's not gonna work. So I would really recommend try to do some sidechaining, try to do some EQing as well, and try to see, okay, does this work? Because right now it's really clipping all over the place. And I can say, you do have the creativity, but it's just not working right now with the mix. I would recommend maybe try to start with finding the right sounds, because the sounds for me, I feel like it sounds a little cheapish, in my opinion. And it's just sound design is like 80% of the work. After that comes mix down, that's 10%, and then the other 10% is just creativity stuff. But you already have the creativity, so that's what I'm saying. Okay, yeah, I do recommend do that, you know. And if you want to find presets, Tech House Market is the place. And I don't saying this because I'm doing this stream, of course, but I'm saying this because I use those sound for many times, even before I did the video with them. So you don't have to take my word for it, but I would definitely take my word for it. Let's go to Redsky. Let's get to the first part, the first break.
You walk away. You walk away. You walk away. You walk away.
I think that piano is really loud. It's louder than anything else. But it's fighting as well with that vocal to get into the same room or into the same part of what everybody is going for right now. Like the vocal wants to go into the same door as what the synth is going to do. And I would really recommend to sort of cut with the vocal. Like when you have, this is also what I do most of the time when I have a vocal, because vocals are a main part of that track. Try to get that vocal and maybe have like a side chain on the frequencies of your synth to make some room for that vocal to blend in. If that makes sense. I get what you're going for. But for me, most of the time, I like it a little bit more when there's a little bit more decay. That the decay is a little shorter. There's a lot of release. There's a lot of reverb. It makes it really messy and chaotic. And don't get me wrong, the concept is great. But there's just so many things going on that you want it to be a little bit less like what it is right now. It needs to be more in line with each other. It needs to be shorter. There's a lot of things in there. And it sounds pretty chaotic in my opinion. But that's just what I'm saying, you know. That's the only thing. Let's go to the next track. I think it works, you know, but it just need a little bit more time in the oven, to be honest. Arnold, we're going to your track.
Think you got me, you better think twice, that's my advice. I'm living a life and you're caught up in my hype, so better step back, back.
Okay, let's get to the first break.
My hips are loud, but my heart's on chill, I play with passion. You think you got me.
And this is a part where I already think the beat needs to go on. And that's something different what I was telling you guys before. But this is a really, it's really empty right now.
You better think twice, that's my advice.
And you want it to go on, especially with this kind of music.
I'm living a life and you're caught up in my hype, so better step back.
Okay. I like that you're going for something else, and it sounds pretty unique, but that back, it's sort of out of the beat that it wants to go into, to be honest, or so. It doesn't feel right to me, to be honest. There's so many things going on. First things first, the kick and the bass line could be a little bit better mixed. I think it needs to talk a little bit more. Right now it's just, it's just not there yet for me, to be honest. And it's just that it's too loud, like the kick is a little bit too quiet in compared with the bass line. And when you compare that with the all the things that comes out of there, the way you put in there, it's so much. To be honest, I cannot really follow what's going on right now. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the only thing. I would really recommend give it a little bit more time in the oven. See why does it feel right, you know? It doesn't really, it feels a little bit off beat, off. There's so much going on, like it's super chaotic. Okay, now we're going to Ombacher. Okay. Okay, to be honest, I do like this. I do like the idea that you're going for. I do think there's so much going on. And I do agree with Scar. The groove is a little bit missing. It's really... That's the only thing that's happening right now. And most of the time, it sounds a little bit like Arbut compared with Max Styler. And that's not a bad thing. But if you want to go for that route, everything needs to be on point. And right now, it's just all over the place. Yeah, that's my it's just it doesn't feel right now, and I think it's just a little bit all over the place, and that's not a bad thing, you know. There is just not one direction that you're going for, especially with that bass shots. Those SARs are really heavy, that stabs are ding 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 ding. You don't know really. Most of the time it works most of the time because it's just really simple. It's just like dun 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 dun, and that's it, with a lot of delay, a lot of reverb, and then it works. But now it's and then comes the saw wave, and then comes this, and then comes that. You want it to be simple. You want it to be dun dun dun, you know. And right now it's just all over the place for me. So that's mostly what I'm. What I'm feeling right now, and it's okay, but there needs to be a little bit more time in the oven for me, you know. Everything else, like the bass, like the mix sounds good to me. So DJ Scar, you're up next. It's your backup account. So.
Gotham. In a rave in Gotham.
I've got the same thing. Like I like it when things are in the break with some reverb. I like that, but it feels for me. It feels a little bit like that it's too much in the background.
In a rave in Gotham, hit a bass, yeah, goes bombastic. In a rave in Gotham, hit a bass, yeah, goes bombastic.
I do like the vocal. It does have the vocals does have something, but I do think it could be a little bit more processed better or so. Right now, it doesn't feel. It doesn't.
In a rave in Gotham,
it feels really dry, especially compared with the synth, because that synth has a lot of reverb.
Bass, yeah, goes bombastic. In a rave in Gotham, hit a bass, yeah, goes bombastic. Hit a bass, yeah. Hit a bass, yeah. Hit a bass, yeah. Hit a bass, yeah. Hit a bass, yeah, goes bombastic. Going in common, in a rave more dark than Gotham. And look how live it's going.
Okay, I gotta say this right now. Like, the drop doesn't work because there's so many things in there. And especially the sounds you're using aren't really the sounds that you need to use.
Thin clothes on the tops and bottom, drop them. Yeah, the beats sound foreign. Could have bass in another world. Got my sheets all made for another girl tonight. Span around, she done a 12. And the rave so active.
Like, and the thing is, there's so much things in there. They are so loud, but the things that need to be loud, the beat and the bass, aren't as loud as anything else. And therefore, it doesn't really get in it feels like the thing is, most of the time when you make sure that the kick and the bass line are great, anything else is easy. And that's really what I live by. But right now there's so many things going on.
Bend, I smacked it. Top bins, I smashed it. Move quick when she backed it into me. See the code, I cracked it. Good stretches, backflips. 10 shots, yeah, back.
It feels like it's so wet and it's so big, and there's so much reverb that everything feels super chaotic. even though you don't use that much.
Didn't know it's a bag with plastic. We go mad, go drastic. Hit a bass, yeah, it goes bombastic. In a rave in Gotham. Hit a bass, yeah, it goes bombastic.
It's like I would recommend, really, Scar. I would really recommend use the pink noise method. Then you really learn how to make sure to how you can make sure that you can gain stage a little bit better, you know.
In a rave in Gotham, hit a bass, yeah, it goes bombastic. Something in common, in a rave, more died in Gotham.
So yeah, that being said, I would recommend go there and try to do some things over there with the reverb, with the, try that pink noise method because it will really help you out. Oh, what's happening? Okay, that's not really what we want. Okay, we're going to Charles Lobo. I'm sorry, Scar, I didn't see your updated link. There's a lot of submissions in there. We can skip the first drop. Okay. You want me to... Where do you want me to get to then?
I can't just be making shit up, man.
I was thinking because I like the minimal vibe. I do like that. Let me just double check the first drop.
I can't just be making shit up, man.
Okay, I like this. I really like this. I do like this. The only thing. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. The only thing that I would suggest to do, because I do feel over here, I have the need to skip some things, like, and you don't want that. Especially with this minimal feel, you want a little bit more variation sometimes. What I would recommend, and this is what I sometimes do, instead of using a bass line that is like 8 bars, try to make it, instead of 8 bars, 16, make it 12. So every time because this bass line doesn't go into any chord progressions, you know. Every time you have like the 4 bars variation, that 12 bar will make sure that it sounds a lot, that there is a lot of variation, even though you just make something like 12 bars, but it doesn't feel into, if you know what I mean, right? Because the first bar, the first 4 bars will continue in the last 4 bars of the 16 bars, but it will continue to evolve because 12 bars doesn't fit into 16 bars, you know. So yeah, if that makes sense, I know I'm yapping right now, but I would recommend, especially with this kind of music, if you try to do a 12 bar bass line instead of an 18 bar instead of a 16 bar bass line, then it gives you more variation than you would eventually do, you know. Especially what Rye Guy is saying. I already mentioned this many times before in my videos. It makes sense, and just let me. I do think you need to drop with the whole beat. You already did like one kick drop over here. So I would already get like, you want the last drop to be the biggest and the best one. And there's no reason for me to play that last drop right now. If you finish that, send it over to me. I would love to play this. Okay, that being said, let's go to Jarice. I get what you're going for. And I do like the concept. But especially with these kind of tracks, with, how do you say it? With that Stussy sound, or that Max Dean sound, or Robbie Doherty. Sound design is the only thing you need to worry about. And it feels a little bit off. There is too much going on. There's too much reverb, there's too much delay. It's not the right delay. The right delay that you need to have is the Valhalla Supermassive, and then the Circus 1/8 preset. That's the insanest preset, and just put the mix down to, I think, 30%. Also put the feedback down because it's really too much. Okay, the thing is, less is more with this. Really, less is more. That cutoff needs to be shorter. Like in the first part, it's cool, but then it needs to be dimmed down again. And for me, it does feel like it's really thin, and it's a little bit. It needs to be sounding fuller, and we need a little bit more distortion here. We need a little bit less reverb. Charles, you need to send it to the track. The pinned comment, of course. But there's only one track per person right now. I do like that synth. Yeah, boop, beep, beep, boop. Refy, I listen to it. And I give you my honest feedback. Yeah, and that's the thing. That sound is really cool, and I love that. But anything else could be a little bit better. It sounds a little bit not there yet. It's just that the 60% that you have right now, it's great, but we need to get it to 90% just before that mastering. And there is some things in there where it is a little bit all over the place. So try to listen to Robert Doherty or Stussy or any other reference track and see, okay, why isn't it working right now? Now we go to the Prophet Echo. For the promo, let me just send it over here. promo@timhawks.com. For anybody who wants me to send me tracks, promo@timhawks.com. But I won't give any feedback to them. I mostly reply when I like it. Let me skip to the first break. This is the same comment that what I have in the break. There's a lot of reverb, and therefore it feels really empty already. Even though there's a lot of reverb, and there's no low end in there. the thing is, like, I do like the creativity in this track. It does sound okay-ish, but I feel like there's so much more in there, you know? It doesn't work for me as of right now. And that's just mostly because there's so much in there, so it feels super chaotic. I don't know really what the main theme is. This is what I mean. There's so many things going on, and I think try to focus on one thing, you know. And it's not. It's not a problem, you know. But there's a lot of things happening, and there's a lot of reverb, but everything feels so chaotic, you know. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, it feels really thin as well, and it's more likely that it's a little bit. Yeah, it needs to feel bigger, and you don't achieve that with only reverb. It's also with layering. It's also with other sounds as well. Try other things out. Right now, it's just so much going on. Okay, that's the only thing I can say about it, because there's just so many things going on. Less is more. Keep it like that. And it's also much easier to mix down less elements instead of really a lot of elements. We are at the track of Zooie, I think. Zooie or Zai. Had me. I do think that bassline is really cool, but it's much better if it's just cut down a little bit with the cutoff.
Running round upside down, but I won't kill
And the thing is, the reason is, I feel like you only used one sound for the bassline. It sounds like that because, and otherwise it's just compressed like hell. And it sounds a little bit that there's a little bit of a DC offset over there.
I can be polite, running round upside down, but I won't kill the vibe.
It sounds too much like a Sasha to me, and I feel like there needs to be a little bit more dynamics in it.
Problematic almost every night.
And I do think it sounds full, so it's just turning down a little bit of that compression, maybe a little bit of that distortion. Just turn it down a little bit.
Round upside down, but I won't kill a vibe.
And I do think variation is key. There's a lot of things going on, but it's repeating itself, so it feels really repetitive after a while. That's all I'm gonna say, because anything else sounds pretty cool, but it's just that bassline that doesn't feel right to me. And it's mostly because when you use a saw, it's really difficult to get don't get that DC offset, or that it doesn't sound sort of out of phase. And you really need to be careful with how you distort it, you know, or put it in a room, or give it a little bit of reverb. Then you create a little DC offset, so it sounds a little bit off, you know. Also, guys, I'm closing the submission right now. I'm going to all the submissions that everybody have sent. So yeah, that's the only thing, because right now there were a lot of submissions. And I want to give everybody the chance to submit, or that everybody who has submitted to give a chance of feedback, you know. Okay, Curtin, we're at your track now. Okay. 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 It sounds pretty cool. It sounds pretty cool. It's not something I would play, to be honest. Because I don't really play bass house anymore, but it does sound really fat. And this, for the first time this stream, I don't have anything to say. And that's a really good thing. Yeah, I don't got anything to say, to be honest. I want to say something because I want to give you guys some feedback, but I'm speechless. And that's really good for a track like this, because most of the time I don't like this. I won't play it. That being said, it's a great track. I've seen Mero play this, to be honest, or anyone from the like a Julian Jordan, or anyone from the Stampede label. It's really filthy. I would really recommend to send it over to them. Mero would definitely play this. Armensky. I like this already. Let me skip to the break. Change the kick and the hi-hat. That's the only thing I gotta say. I think the kick is a little bit too dirty. I'm sorry, Armensky, but we only do the first break and the first drop. The kick is a little bit too dirty. That's the only thing. For the rest, like, and that hi-hat, like that shaker, it's a little bit eerie in the ear. And otherwise, if you just make sure, just change those two things, like maybe put the shaker a little bit down and change the kick, that it's a little bit more of a, not a dirty kick, or a, like a, just a little bit of a thumpy kick. This is a really great track. It's just that kick and that shaker is the only thing that I don't like. Fuck. Yeah, okay, this is nice. Please change that and that shaker, and I definitely play this. Fuck that. I would play this in every fucking set. I mean this. But that kick and shaker needs to be changed. Let me just check the build up real quick. Okay, that snare needs to be changed as well. A shorter snare. Okay, I don't like that. Change that as well. Feels a little bit off, in my opinion. It feels like it's not really. No, that part doesn't feel right to me. No, especially when this drop is already really good. It's better when it just. I just don't really like that synth. That's better. Like that ding 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 ding. That's cool. I think that's cooler. But that sort of off key synth isn't doing it for me, to be honest. But anything else, this track is really great. Like this concept is really good. Send it to me when it's done, you know? Okay. Refy, you're finally up. Okay. I will put up the vocal. It needs to be a little bit louder. Like maybe put an R Vox on there. Okay. I like the concept. I do like it. I do think don't use that vocal shot in the drop immediately. Just it's a cool vocal shot, you know, and I think it would be better if you drop it really minimal. And I've been seeing this all over the Netherlands, you know, with all my shows. People like minimal stuff a little bit more like lately. They really like it to drop with a groove and they want to dance. They are done with sort of too much things in there.
We were everything, could have been anything. Tell me why you have to go again.
I would delete that vocal shot. Maybe use it a little bit less or so to give it a little bit groove, but not that just like maybe that at the end. That maybe you could use that, but it's so much better without it. Over here there's so much happening. Too much. And it feels too much for me. Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. I think you need to look at that structure, how to make sure, like, maybe look at the structure of Strut. The track is called Strut. I don't know for sure. Strut. Yeah, like this. I don't know for sure. I would definitely look up there how to do it like that, because I feel like that's sort of the direction you need to go into. And just don't use the super saw. It's not, and I'm gonna say it, it's not 2022 anymore. I get that you need something to sort of get the bass out of there, but then rather use like an odd mob or like a really short boom. That is much better, I feel, but that's mostly taste. Anything else is pretty great, but what I was saying, that vocal shot thingy, delete that. Delete the super saw. And try to come up that it sounds a little bit more minimal. Then it would definitely work. Then I would definitely play this. Domo.
Gotta crush, gotta get this hotline.
Okay.
Gotta crush, gotta get this hotline.
I find this sounding interesting. Too much in there. And those beats are really like those beats are really like irritating to the ears. I would really dip in those beats, dip some frequencies in there, because it's like when I listen to it over here, it's just too much. I do like the bass line. And especially like the reason why you dip those frequencies is because right now it sounds super chaotic, even though there's not much in there. Especially when everything comes in, I don't hear what the vocal is saying. I cannot really understand what the synth is doing. Therefore it's super, how do you say it? Therefore, it sounds just a little bit, yeah. It doesn't work right now, and you really need to focus on that. So, Domo, cool track, but yeah, it's not done yet. You need some time more in the oven, especially when the mix down. Kellum Hall.
I can make it smooth. Let me show you just how to move.
I'm just standing up because my pants are wet.
When the beat drops, it's real cool. Let the music fill your soul.
It's fucking hot in here. That's why, by the way.
Any way you want it, anyway, I can make it smooth. Let me show you just how to move. When the beat drops, it's real cool. Let the music fill your soul. Any way you want it, any way you want it now. Make it smooth. Want it now, want it now, want it now. I can make it smooth now. Want it now, 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 want it now. I can make it.
Sorry that I need to laugh about this, but it sounds, it was super random that it comes in. Charles, it's not that hot, but this thing is just getting hot or something because I'm in here. I think, look, the thing is, I do like the idea of it, but it feels a little bit, I don't know, I don't really like the vocal that much. And there's, I do think the break is okay, but it just feels like there's so much compressed, you know. It's so compressed, you know. It falls flat or something. And I'm just gonna say this, but that sounds really gimmicky, and I don't know if you want to go for that, but it feels a little bit off, even though it's in key and stuff like that. It's just not right to me, to be completely honest. And it's not a bad thing, you know. It's not a bad thing that it's not right, but it's, yeah, you know, it Anything else sounds great. It's just that do. It's so strange to me. It sounds so strange to me. It just sort of gets me out of the track. And that's not a bad thing, you know? Thanks for saying, Charles. Good to have you on the stream, of course. But that's the only thing I'm gonna say about this Kellum. Because anything else sounds pretty cool, but it's really compressed. It's really compressed as well. And change that sort of singing vocal. This is a different Refy, I think. Got the same things to say about your beat, because that beat, it needs some dipping in the frequency. That's really cool. That's a really cool sound. It sounds super muddy, to be honest. Okay. I do like the beat, and I do like what you're going for. The thing is, the break, the drop sounds like it's part of the break. It doesn't feel there's no low end or something like that. It sounds a little bit off to me. No, I'm sorry, Prot. I closed the submission. Yeah, the thing is, it doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't really feel right to me. I do like everything else, but I think there is like a low end missing or so. And therefore it feels like this is still the break. And I do think that you need to check the low end and the kick. Anything else sounds pretty cool, but it does sound a little bit muddy. Especially over here. Especially when that snare comes in. I would look into that. But anything else sounds great. What was more... Oh, Kellum, you're already... Was... Domo, we already have you. Dancefloor. I don't know from who this is, but we will see.
Yeah, I see you on the dance floor.
Okay. I'm not gonna judge you on the vocals, but the thing is, and this is a tip from me to anybody else who's using splice vocals. Splice vocals are not a problem. They never will be a problem. But if you use these vocals from Kara, or I don't know for sure what the pronunciation is, every label will automatically decline. Even though this is not, I never really heard this vocal.
Can you meet me on the dance floor?
Make sure that it sounds different from what it was, because if I hear this in my promo mill, I instantly skip it, and that's mostly because of how her voice sounds, because it sounds really like a like a splice vocal, like the definition of a splice vocal.
Yeah, I'll meet you on the dance floor.
And I don't have any hate towards the top liner, Kara or something like that, but unfortunately, because everybody uses her vocals, that's the definition of a splice vocal.
Can you meet me on the dance
And I feel really bad for her because of that.
floor?
Because she's an amazing singer.
Yeah, I see you on the dance floor. Can you meet me on the dance floor?
The vocal is a little bit off the beat. And I also think that the bass line is too long, and therefore it sort of falls back. It's more like a woo, 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 instead of a dooku, dooku. I think you were going for that. And there is such a thing as too much bassline. And this is the example. I would definitely recommend turn it down a little bit. Turn it down a little bit so you have a little bit more decay or a little bit more sustain, or that were not the words that I was searching for. I was searching for the word transient. And therefore, because the bass line is too much, it feels like there is no groove. The sound of the bass sounds great, by the way.
Dancefloor.
And because the sound is too much, the bass line is too much, the other things don't really pop out, you know? Work on that. How is this a M4A? Is this already released, yo? Is this already released? Okay, nice. Yeah, so you cannot really change that, but still. I like that you changed the vocals a lot, because these vocals were everywhere, you know. I've heard so many remixes of this, but sorry, I needed to text my fiance that I'm already almost done. Okay, this is the thing I'm gonna say, because I feel the beat isn't beating. I feel that kick could be a little bit dirtier. It needs to be punching in my face. Everything sounds a little bit too soft, in my opinion. It's not doing it for me right now, and it needs to be distorted as fuck. It needs to be saturated. It needs to be in my face. It needs to be dirty, and right now it's just a little bit too sweet, a little bit too soft, in my opinion. I do like the idea. That being said, I do like the idea that you use this. It's just a little bit too soft. Like a little bit, it needs to be a little bit dirtier, a little bit grungy. I don't know if that's a name, but if it's like it needs to be it needs to be looking like this picture. And right now, it looks like the normal picture, to be honest. It's not the dirty enough. Okay. Yeah, we already had you. Colby Fisher, you're up next. This is a kick.
What did I miss? 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 What did I miss?
Okay. The thing is, I don't like the master. I don't like it. And the thing, it's mostly because it's so compressed and so put to the test, you know. And especially that vocal. It's so loud, and it's sort of knocking and saying, "Yo, I want to get in," you know. I want to be the main element of this track.
What did I miss?
And that's not a bad thing.
What did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss?
But it gets really repetitive real fast because it's repeating itself the whole time.
What did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss?
And that ride is too loud. And it's just that everything wants to be as loud as possible.
What did I miss?
I do like the concept. I do like that.
Gangsters headlines. What did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss?
Change up that what did I miss vocal. I really change up. You have multiple takes, of course, but make sure that it's a little bit different from any other thing that you have. Like make sure that the 4 bars of what did I miss, that it's a little bit different from the first bars, and continue to do that, because variation is key with this kind of music.
What did I miss? What did I miss? He's there until you start giving out 2-tone. What did I miss? And nobody cares until they're in front of you.
This is a little bit offbeat.
What did I miss? Y'all been on that type of timing for...
Yeah, that's really offbeat. Get it on the beat, of course, and I don't like it that it's... I think it's a sort of remix kind of thing, but I would really focus on that. Just make it on beat, get some more variation, stuff like that. And as well, make sure that not everything is as loud as possible. It's okay to have sometimes to have... I would rather play a track that I need to turn up on the mixer than to have something that it's too much. Okay, this doesn't work. Okay, I do like everything except for the synths that you're using. And I'm talking about the boom, down, down, down. It sounds a little bit how do you say that? It sounds a bit off phase, something like that. It's a little bit. It's not in the same room as anything else. And especially dang dang dang, that's really out of phase. It sounds like that. It's too wide, in my opinion. Make sure to do that a little bit late. Yeah, a little bit more mono or something like that. I'm sorry, Latske, but I already closed the submissions. We are not doing any submissions anymore. But then I would focus on that, because anything else sounds pretty... And no, it's not too bright. It's like... It's too wide. So what happens when something is too wide, compared with the mono sound, it gets out of phase. So if you put it on mono, it sort of fades out. And it's more like a feeling. Right now it's really wide and it doesn't have the power that it needs to have.
But every heart you break, suddenly look for someone.
And I do think the vocal could be a little bit brighter. Right now I don't really understand what she's singing.
Still can't get you off my mind. Every step I take leads me all the way back to you. Back to you.
This part is okay, but the other things I cannot really understand what she's saying. That being said, it's a good concept. Just work on those synths and you definitely have something. Lotus, you're not up next. Okay, I'm curious what this is going to be.
Baby, I just wanna show you things. Can I be different? Baby, I could buy you any rings. Don't care about the distance. Baby, I just wanna show you things. Can I be different?
Sorry, Sasha, can you send it again because your link doesn't work. Hey Oscar, how you doing, man? Meal, we closed the submissions. There's been a ton, you know? I do like this, but the only thing is that everything is clipping right now. There's a lot of clipping over here. I get that's part of the Jersey Club sort of style. I'm doing well, Oscar. Thanks for asking. No, it's not the rye. It's what it is. It's more of how do you say it? No, Oscar, we closed the submission, unfortunately. I'm sorry. The thing is, I like this kind of style. I do think it's really unique. But the problem with this track is that everything is clipping, like it's so loud. Wait, Sasha, which one is yours then? Oh, I'm sorry. Is this one yours? I'm sorry, I didn't. Yeah, the Dropbox link didn't work. I'm sorry. Okay, cool. Yeah, Lotus, it's a cool track, but work on that clipping because I think if you just turn some things down and make sure that it's working a little bit better with each other, then it's much better. But I don't really. You can really hear. Everything is too loud, and therefore it's really clipping right now. Okay, Sasha, we're at your track. Let me skip to the first break. The track is a little bit clipping as well. I do like that it's a little bit dirty. I don't like the delay of that. I would use another delay.
Kick it for me one time. Kick it for me one time.
I think it would be better if you have like a part where it sort of stops and then you have the vocal, kick it from the heart. Then the drop would be a little bit better in energy. And that bass line needs to be, there needs to be more variations. I think what I feel right now is that you're going in the right direction, but variations are the main focus of what you should change about this. Because I get that you're going for that Max Dean or that Stussy sound, but the reason why those tracks work is because they have a lot of variations in the melody and it doesn't get boring the whole time. Of course, I do feel sometimes that it takes a long time, but there is variation in there. And right now it's just a little bit the same 4 bars, 8 bars kind of melody. And I want to change that up. You need to change it up to make sure that it sounds better. Right now I feel like I want to skip the parts, you know, and that's not what you want. You want it to be people that listen to the whole track, you know. That's the most of the thing. Like the mix sound, of course, the mix sound could be a little bit better, but I think you need to really focus on those parts to make variations and that it's worth it to listen to the whole track. That's what I've got to say about this. Okay, now we're going to mirrors. I do like this kick. For the, I'm just mentioning this because I see it in the description. The thing is, anything else doesn't really work. Everything wants to be in the same place as anything else. So what is happening right now? They're all fighting for the same place. I think there's a lot of things in there, and I think with this kind of music you want it to be less is more. It's cool, but there's too much in there. And I don't like that ARP. I think the ARP sounds a little bit cheap compared to anything else. Just gonna skip this real quick. You really need to have that break to be a sort of stop, like a big moment. And that's right now is just keep on going. Such a shame that you don't hear that acid sound in the beginning. I get that, but this is the best part of the track. Me being honest, I would really skip the first drop and just use this drop as well. And maybe make it shorter or something like that. But I would really delete this and just use this part. That's the main focus on the track. It's really good. So it's a shame that it just comes out at like after 2 minutes. Okay, DJ Spare.
Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you?
I already recommended this as well, what you needed to do.
Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about me and you?
I guess you didn't see the video that I made on Patreon, of course. So I'm gonna say it again because this is the same feedback that I have. I feel like the vocal is cool, but it's sort of really repetitive after you put it over here, over here, over here. After that it comes over here and then it doesn't go over here. You want it to, I know you don't have a lot of space or you don't have a lot of things you can do with that vocal, but just make sure that it sounds more interesting, that it's the full vocal that you get in the drop, you know. Right now it's just so repetitive. And I do think this part over here. this is the best part of the track. So I would really recommend just drop that with that synth, like dung 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 over here as well. Just keep the beats like that, but make sure that the synth drops in here as well. And I recommend it, this part of it. And then it sounds really, I get that you need that vocal to fill it up, but I would really like that me and you loop that part like over here in the second part, in the third part. Me and you, me and you, me and you. Can we talk about me and you? Me, as you like that. That would really help the track, to be honest. Okay. Now we're at Alla Rosa. Ding 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 ding.
What you talking? What you saying? I ain't playing. I'm for real. I got bands in my hand, 100 grand to $1 million. What you talking? What you saying? I ain't playing. I'm for real. I got bands in my hand, 100 grand to $1 million. Catch me on the downslide, downslide, downslide.
Delete the vocal. I don't like that vocal. Anything else is really great. Maybe the groove could be better. I would recommend to use some different loops.
I'll be heading up in the wild, chilling low key. Catch me on the downside.
And I got the same to say about that bass line. That bass line is nice. It's simple, it's catchy, but it needs a little bit more variation.
I'll be heading up in the wild, chilling low key.
Yeah, that's really what I'm thinking. Yeah, this is the thing. I do like everything except for that sort of, I would use maybe some other top loop or some other variation on the groove, but it really gets repetitive after a while, especially because this bass line goes on and on and on and on. Especially if you go for that kind of simple track. Listen to how I feel from me. It's repetitive, I get that, but there's a variation almost every 2 bars. I would recommend to do that, but it's your life, so I cannot give you any. You don't must do that or something. I cannot give you orders, but I can recommend it. So I would do what I was saying. Just try to do that. Peter Christensen is up next. I know this is a loop. It's a good one.
No, I light me up like a street at night. With it every touch.
I feel the vocal is a little bit, could be processed a little bit better.
You make it right. Your laughter's like a song so sweet.
DJ Party, the submissions already are closed. I'm sorry.
I can't believe you're here with me. You make me feel alive. You make me whole. You touch my heart. You heal my
Like the vocal sounds great, but the processing is not that great.
soul. But I'm so scared you'll slip away. I pray you'll stay. I pray you'll stay.
This is really cool. could be a little bit dirtier, like a little bit wider as well. I do think this is really cool. I do think that. Finish this and send it over to me. Yeah, I will play this. Maybe in a longer set. Now we're going to Mert Kiras. Westlord, I do feedback every song. The only thing is that the submission's already closed. I don't like those vocal shots. There's too much going on right now. I think it feels like there's not really a good direction.
New bag like that. Walk in the place with a diamond curve. Yeah, my ass real bad. If you talk shit, I'm talking back. Go, like you lost your mind. I get that money, I'm on the burn. Yeah, my cup, bring me shit.
I think there is too much going on, and I get that you're going for something unique. I do get that, but sometimes unique is also a little bit too much.
Can't bring me someone, don't waste my time.
But everything is really colliding as well. Like that vocal is too loud, that sound, like that saw wave is a little bit too loud as well.
Don't waste my time, cause that's money. I'm with the coke heads, you with the dummies. Turn it up, let it go.
I would recommend that as well, yeah.
Let's
like the more sidechain on the vocal.
get this party jumping, let's go.
Yeah, the thing is, it just sounds a little bit too cheapish. I think it would really benefit if you use a different sound. Westlord, I already closed the submissions, to be honest. We're at the last 3. Yeah, man, I think if you just use some other presets, like from Tech House Market, the track would get a little bit more. It would be sounding a little bit better as well. Right now it's just a little bit all over the place. Okay. The Rye guy. Okay, why doesn't it work? It is a really nice thing to bring people to dance, man. I think, like, I don't know how to put this in words, because I think it sounds cool. I can't put my finger on what it is that I think could be better. I think it's mostly, and that's just a taste thing, I think it's mostly because there's a lot of things going on, and I would really try to keep it as simple as possible. Especially that bass line is cool, but it's sort of, I think it could be better. And it's the same. This is the same with that synth. Dun, 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 dun. That's cool, but it could be better. It's just, I want it to sound a little bit more that I think, whoa, this is it, you know? And right now, it's okay. I don't have anything bad to say about it. It's just that I feel like there needs to be that wow moment. And maybe it comes over here. I do think that was a really cool switch up, but it's more likely that I feel like that. For instance, I do think that the bass line sounds okay, but I don't. The melody doesn't really catch me, and that's what I mean with that it's okay and it's not a bad track, but it could be better, and it's more like to change it up with some notes or change it up with maybe a different sound. It's just trial and error. Right now it's a good bass that you have, but we want it to be the perfect bass that you have, you know? It needs to be perfect. And for me right now it's just an okay track. And I don't got anything. Yeah, just spice it up. I think that's the main thing that you need to go for. Spice it up. But I appreciate you sending it, and because I know I can be harsh sometimes. Neto, this is your track right now. I'm curious. Interesting. I do think this is interesting. Says a lot that I don't say anything or that I skip. This is a really great track. I do like this. Fatim, I'm gonna give you a tip, by the way, because I don't got anything to say about Neto's track, and it's a really great track. I don't know what to say about this. It's really good. It's really good. Fatim, this is the thing that I'm gonna say to you. The key thing to finishing up tracks is to say to yourself that a track is finished. And this is a mindset that I have since, let's say, 2022. Since I said to myself, this track is finished, I've released so many tracks. And the thing is, it's just a mentality. A track is finished whenever you say it's finished. If I'm gonna say the track is not finished, to you, your track is not finished, and you say to me, my track is finished, who am I to judge? And whenever you have that mentality, then say, yo, the track is finished, it will happen. And it's just, finishing tracks is just, whenever you say to yourself your track is finished, then your track is finished. It's just a mentality, man. And we're at the last track. I wasn't expecting a Vamos a la Playa track. I'm gonna hate myself for saying this, but I like this. Send it to me when it's done. The only thing that I'm gonna say this to you is that it's cool. It's pretty cool, and that's the only thing I gotta say. I don't have anything else. It's just a great remix. I really hate myself for saying this, to be honest. Yeah, send it to me. Send it to me to promo. Make sure that it's downloadable and send it to promo@timhawks.com. No, I'm not going to dance on Vamos a la Playa. And that will be on the internet forever. So you know that, okay? And I just hate myself for saying this. It is a great track. And I do like that, but so guys, unfortunately the stream is finished. I will end the stream with a track of mine, and I'm gonna choose one. Oh fuck! Okay, fuck. Yeah. Okay, you didn't see that, guys, because Fisher asked me to send over some tracks, or not the team of Fisher. Okay, for the team of Catch and Release, asked me to send some tracks, so you know that. Okay. Let's see. I think. Yeah, this one is. Oh wait, maybe I can just do this. We will end with this track because I like this track a lot. This is the last track of the night. So bye bye. That was a preview. I cannot send anything else anymore because I don't want to spoil it for you when it comes out. But as you can see, there's a lot of tracks already over here. Okay. Guys, thanks for watching. I think I'm going to do this more often. I don't know for sure if we're going to do this on the Tech House Market YouTube channel, but still. The other thing is, let me also do this. Tech House Market. No, not that. This. I'm gonna put this in the chat. If you want the tracks that we made, it's an insane track, by the way. We have a project file for you guys. Ready? You can get that over here. I will put the link in here if that works. It doesn't work like that. Come on. Yes. Here's the link. Buy that fucking project file. You will support me. You will support Tech House Market. There's a lot of things in there. I used only free plugins. I used also there's I didn't say that yet, but there's my master in there as well for Ozone 11. It's made by me. It works for FL Studio. Yeah, if you download it, instant access. Let's just listen to the track. Okay, so you know this is the track. This is the project file you should buy, I think. If you want to know how I work in Fruity Loops, if you want to know how I make my tracks, this is really like explanatory. I like the stream a lot. I love that you guys were here. If you want to know anything, just shoot a DM to me and I will try to answer that as soon as possible. If you have anything, I don't have anything else to say, I think. No. To be honest, I don't have anything else to say. That being